Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. So this time it's going to be a bit more chill, and a bit more about just playing the game itself. Over the last week or two, I guess things in the channel have just been very much focused on Warlords of Draenor, alpha, news, things, data mining, models, etc, etc. And well, it has been a ton of fun to cover, but sometimes I just think it's, you know, there's definitely instances where I could definitely go back a little bit to talking about the game itself in its current state and playing it and all that stuff. And that's what this video is, because despite me doing all these videos on the alpha and that kind of thing, and because it's been this 3-week Easter break that we get from university, I've been playing more World of Warcraft than I have in months, if I'm honest, and it's not on my main, which is I guess one of the more interesting things about it all, and I just figure, hey, it's probably worth having a bit of a chat about it. And letting people know the kind of thing that I'm doing in-game. As for the actual content on the channel at the minute, I am pretty happy with how things have been going. I've been experimenting with one or two different ways of doing things and how just how to present information, especially with the videos in the last few days. I think they were a lot more informative and just better edited and put together than the stuff that I put out based on the first wave of alpha notes. So I think that should help out. Right now, what I'm just kind of trying to work out how to actually get people to view those videos, because I think it's really interesting, pertinent stuff. And yeah, I mean, I don't want to just, you know, go making video titles that say, OMG, the sky's falling, click to view my video, etc. Because clickbaity titles really kind of do my head in. So, yeah, I'm not sure how all that is going to pan out. Still, though, in the interests of keeping the channel a little bit more varied, let's just talk about the game itself. And in this video, I'll be talking about loads of different things. It's totally unscripted, but hey, that's nice. Actually, hell, I don't even script videos anyway. What am I talking about? Usually, the most I'd go off is a few bullet points. I actually think that, quick little YouTube tip, when you're a new YouTuber, and I fell into the same thing, it's really, really, tempting just to write out a rough script or a very formal set of bullet points, and then just, well, talk through them like a robot. I used to do that, and it was pretty shit. But a really good way of honing in your voice skills is just to try to wing it as much as you possibly can until you actually get good at winging it. Anyway, let's kind of move on to actual topics and things. So first of all, new characters. As you probably mostly know, I play a Draenei Hunter, mainly as my raid PvE character. I suppose because I ended up showing so much footage for my PvP warrior, a lot of people probably think I mained a warrior. It's kind of funny, I don't main a warrior, though I think they're a ton of fun for PvP. Anyway, I've not been playing my hunter, I've been playing other characters. It started off when I just decided, hey, I think I should have a look at this druid, which I boosted up for my level 90 boost video, and just start playing the hell out of it. And I did that for a few weeks and just chilling out in the Timeless Isle and that kind of thing. Ended up getting some gear. I think that character's in around 512 at the minute. And it's pretty good. I think that Feral's a really fun spec. It's definitely harder to play than most other specs, but I think that it's really rewarding and actually it's a hell of a lot of fun. So I really am enjoying that character, though in the last few days I've not really been playing it as much. And because of other characters. It's kind of insane. I'm using all these different characters, gearing them up and learning how to play them, and then Warlords is going to hit and just wipe the slate clean and all my effort will have been pointless. I keep on thinking to myself, why am I doing this? Just why? Because none of this gear matters, yet I still do it for some reason. Kind of weird. Well, actually, I suppose the main reason is that I want to learn more classes. I'm not going to give away any plans, obviously, for my Warlords coverage, but I do want to be able to put out more extensive class guides for more classes and things like that. And yeah, I think that learning, ideally I'd like every single class at 90, and I'd like to be able to play most specs. So I think over the next few months I'll be really working on that, so perhaps it won't all be high-end heroic raiding, but I want to get a solid understanding of everything. So that's one of the things that I'm doing at the minute, and it's why I've got all these new characters rolled up. And so yeah, that's the druid covered. I still need to learn how to do resto and tanking that thing, so that'll be fun to learn at some point. Though, moving on from the druid, we have, my next character, which was my mage. Now this is a bit of a funny thing. I ended up getting a mage to level 51 via Recruit a Friend a long time ago. I mean, 4 years ago, maybe. I think 3, yeah, it was 3 or 4 years ago. And that mage, I had no idea how to play it. Absolutely no idea. So I thought, right, well, what am I going to do? I kind of, at that stage, wanted a character that would be really good at farming things. I have no particular idea why, but you can make about 6 to 10k gold an hour when farming. Now, of course, your actual raw gold from that farm is probably only going to be a few hundred, but it's, you know, what you do with the windwool cloth that you get, it's what you do with all the various items you get from that farm. Usually, though, I am an AH guy, and I've been doing that a lot, and I'll talk about that later on in the video. But that's just the idea I wanted for that mage, so I decided, right, I'll just, you know, go arcane, I'll be using my arcane blasts, and having a bit of fun with that. So, thus started my quest to level my mage up, and I got it from level 51 to 60, I think in about 2 days. Not 2 days of game time, obviously, just like 2 days of, you know, a few hour sessions. And first thing I want to, it was probably maybe 4 hours, 3 hours in total. What I want to say though is I actually enjoyed going through the Swamp of Sorrows. I know a lot of people say that zones are terrible. I think there's 1 or 2 quests that involve a boat that are terrible and just, ugh, because of mob density, but bar that, it's pretty good. And then moving on to the burning, no, not burning steps, blasted lands. Yeah, I actually kind of like the blasted lands. Maybe the same thing goes for Hellfire as well. I just kind of like those deserty areas sometimes. Though I know to some people that just means barren, dull, and kind of shit. But anyway, I got that mage up to level 60. I got tailoring and skinning. Not 100% sure why I got skinning. I guess my reasoning at the time was, well, if this character is going to farm, and it just turns out that I'll be farming maybe a beast, then I can get the skins. But of course, one of the major things that you do in your farming is you use those potions of luck that can get you treasure chests. But of course, they only work in humanoids, not beasts. So that was a bit of a shit decision, though I still have now got skinning on 1 character. I've nearly got 1 of every crafting profession. Actually, I think all I need is blacksmithing, so I'll probably do that in whatever my next level 90 class will be. Anyway, so I started my quest with that mage, and I really wanted to deck him out, and he's actually sitting at item level 520 at the minute, and the crazy thing is, none of that's really via doing flexes or getting boosted on my stream, which is how I got a lot of the items for my druid, and that was kind of fun. But yeah, on that character, I just went into the Timeless Isles, I nuked down all the quests, and I got pretty lucky in that in about 25,000 Timeless coins, I got 2 or 3 burdens. That helped the item level so damn much. I ended up valor capping that character once, actually. But anyway, that's what I was doing on the mage. And then I sort of decided, right, I really need to go full on, legit, get a lot of stuff in this mage. I wanted loads and loads of burdens. So I started looking up the best farming places, and of course it had been a while since I'd really looked into any of this, and when the top result for Timeless coin farming is one of your own videos, then you really know you're shit out of luck. So it turned out that now, or at least I now know, that one of the best places is actually the Gulp Frogs. You can destroy them. You're getting about 10,000, 15,000 an hour. Nah, probably more like 10,000 coins an hour, plus a whole bunch of armor tokens and things like that. So it was pretty cool, actually. So I spent a few hours doing that. Got, I believe, 16,000 coins. Used them all, 0 burdens. Yeah, I got about 4 or 5 feckin' pets that I didn't want. I got loads of armor bits that I didn't need. It was just great. But the kind of net thing is that mage is now pretty decently geared up. And then I jumped into the LFR with that mage a little bit later on. Gotta say, LFR? No. It's been problematic for me, really. And one of the odd things is that mage is, I may be doing 120, 140k DPS, and that's with I'm level of 520, but I know I can do more. I just need to pay attention and stop derping about. Still learning the class, of course. But on that mage, I've really enjoyed playing the Arcane Mage itself. I know it's a bit of a simplistic spec, but there is a decent amount of depth into actually managing your mana perfectly. If you can do that, then it's got quite a bit of complexity. However, if you're just playing that class in the capacity of spam arcane thingy, then it's just boring as hell. But yeah, I'm kind of enjoying the mage, but in LFR my biggest problem was actually just people leaving, groups not sticking together, the usual bullshit. But seriously, in 2 weeks worth of trying to gear the character up in LFR, nearly every single attempt just resulted in that. Oh man, I couldn't. It was seriously just doing my head in. so I've taken a little bit of a step back from it. I know that I just need to go and finish all of Siege of Orgrimmar this week in the character, though, so I can get all the gear. And then, of course, I was a little bit unlucky in that character has only ever got 1 drop from the Celestials in Ordos. Actually, no, it's got 2 drops, and one of them was useless, and it, like, wasted all the kind of bonus roll goodwill that I had built up over failing a whole bunch of times. So that was a little bit irritating. But yeah, that's what was going on with the mage. Now, in terms of, like, me actually farming in the mage, I was mainly doing this spot in the Jade Forest. I learned it from this Twitch streamer called Thackerus, who is a pretty cool guy, actually. So yeah, I was going to the Jade Forest, and there's this quest that you get when you're in the, it's only an alliance thing, but it's called Let Them Burn, and it's when you have those Sarok or not Sarok, the Jinyu people, and they're fighting the monkeys, and there's this, like, big battle, and the 4 guys come to help you, and the spawn rates are just crazy. So I was having a bit of fun there, just grinding it up, and because that character has tailoring, I get loads of cloth. I was then turning that into royal satchels. I have 2 of them in the AH now. Oddly enough, they're not selling, but I'd like to deck out all of my characters with royal satchels because I hate having to deal with bag space. And to be fair, most of my characters, or at least my bank alt, has got a full set of royal satchels. I still need to get more. I've only got 62,000 gold. I want that to be at about 200,000 or 300,000 by the time Warlords hits. And I'll cover money making later on, just in general. But yeah, that's what I've been doing on the mage. But then, I watched a video by Mike Preach. You know, Preach, World of Warcraft YouTuber guy. And it was him talking about how he's having just a ton of fun on his Ret Paladin. And I thought, huh. I mean, I have played a Ret Paladin before. I obviously leveled one up in Warlords, in Mists of Pandaria. But I never really just stuck to the class that much, never thought it was particularly fun, and honestly, the only reason I leveled it up is so that I could get alchemy up to level 600 and access all those various other things. So, that Paladin was already sitting at 90, and I went to Altaholic. It's a really handy add-on, by the way. It just allows you to see the bank and inventory slots of every single character on your server. So I went onto it, I just typed in Timeless Plate to see how just many of those random assorted Timeless Plate bits that I had, that I could just ship over to that character. And I had about 5 or 6 helms, bracers, and feet. That was it. I was like, I had loads of pieces, but they were all for 1 or 2, not 1 or 2, maybe 3 or 4 specific slots. So that was really, that was so annoying. Then, of course, I was just able to use the random signets and cloaks that I had, but for the plate armor itself, that was kind of irritating. And then when I actually jumped onto the Paladin, and I started just trying to mess around on the Isle, and, you know, I was getting those timeless armor caches, you know, like the caches you get from those 2 or 3 quests there, they kept on giving me, like, hands and things they already had. So that was total freaking pain in the ass. What I need in that character is trinkets, because right now, you won't believe this, I've got 2 item level 430 trinkets, and they're terrible. Like, really terrible. So I need to replace them, and the damn Timeless Curio is just not dropping. So it's a little bit frustrating, and I'm actually now, I've resorted to grinding out Justice to get the Lions, you know, the patch 5.1 stuff. So, a little bit irritating, but on the actual topic of the Ret Paladin itself, holy shit, that class is fun to play. All the spell effects are great. I was just looking through armors and transmogs, a lot of them are great too. And my computer nearly just went to sleep there, which actually scared me halfway through the recording, so that was great. But overall, Ret Paladin, ton of fun. I just love how punchy it feels, and it's just like you're always you're throwing something painful at the boss, you're always hitting a button, and when you hit a button and you look at the screen, there's a giant big spell effect, and things like Execution Sentence, holy crap, like that hammer falling through the sky at your opponent, that looks really cool. Templar's Verdict has definitely got a very fast animation, but I think it looks really nice. So that's cool. And as it turns out with Ret Paladins, and I think I'll cover this in one of my videos, I've already recorded it, so I don't know when it will go up exactly. But the way Ret Paladins work is that they've got this thing called Holy Power, and you've got your main 3 abilities, or maybe 4, whatever, that generate Holy Power. And when you get 3 Holy Power, as long as you have a certain buff up, called Inquisition, which costs Holy Power, you just want to use Templar's Verdict, which is your big, I have Holy Power to spend, and it will hurt my opponent. Boom. Fine. Now, you don't actually want to use Templar's Verdict as soon as you possibly can. You want to, always just build up your holy charges as much as you can, and just ensure that every single holy charge generating ability is on cooldown all the time. Of course, that's providing you don't go over 5 charges of holy power. So that was interesting. Basically, it's the optimal way to play the class, from what I've learned looking at all the different guides, and it's a class that I'm really having a great time playing. And there's actually this add-on, I forget what it's called. Crap, if you just, I don't know, go into Curse, it'll be there under Retribution Paladin, but it gives you a suggestion for your next spell to cast based on their cooldowns, and it was, I think, yeah, the guy who, of course, led me to it was Mike Preach WoW, because when I looked at his channel, I saw a Paladin guy, and I was like, oh shit, well that's exactly what I need, so he recommended that add-on, and it's pretty cool. It basically just recommends the next thing for you to press. It's not a, be-all, end-all thing you must follow all the time, because it doesn't give a shit about your cooldowns or anything like that, but with all those things combined, I just think it's a really punchy and fun class to play. I did have, one time a while ago, a shot at playing a Holy Paladin. I absolutely hated it. I really hated it. Though I'm still interested in going back into healing at some point during Warlords, so I'm not too sure exactly how all that'll play out. Still though, the Paladin's a pretty cool dude, but right now my problem is gear, because that Paladin was not level 90 boosted. By the way, just in terms of level 90 boosts, I will do a video at some point just talking about it and how I think it's all went down, but yeah, my Paladin was already 90, wasn't boosted, so it didn't have that 483 gear, and I had previously been used to 2 boosted characters, the free boost and then the one that I paid £40 for. And by the way, the reason I paid £40 is because I'm in a position where my time is worth a lot more than my money, because YouTube takes up an extreme amount of time during my day, and and then there's also all the other work that I have to do, so between those I just wouldn't have time to level from 60 through 90. I literally, it would just take weeks. It would be terrible. So yeah, that's why I boosted. And no, have I lost track? Come on, brain, you can do it. Yes, I was talking about, yeah, okay. So in the Timeless Isle, I've previously been used to just going in there with 2 boosted characters. Now that was fine, because their gear level was pretty decent. They were able to take care of basically any challenge in the island, especially with buffs. Going in there with my 460 or maybe 50 Paladin was a very different experience. I died quite a bit, so eventually I was able to get some of those timeless pieces. Now that character is 479. Still, I feel kind of weak because my weapon is this shitty 463 polearm that's just not that great. So it's definitely a very different experience, actually. And it's funny, you nearly forget all the progression that goes on when you hit level 90 regularly and you have to go in to do your dungeons and all those things. It's really weird, so that is a thing. Anyway, that's a lot talked about. What other things can I mention? I guess I could mention LFR for a bit. No, I've already talked about LFR. Yeah, basically just my problem with LFR is it's just groups. I think there's ways that they could design LFR that could be better, in which you've got personal responsibility, but it only matters for your own character, and you can put in some AFK protection and various other things like that. Maybe the boss's health could scale based on the amount of people that are alive or dead, because honestly, is LFR something you're designed to fail at 10 times in a row? No, it's not. That's why groups leave and break apart, so yeah, LFR is definitely something that Blizzard could have a really solid look at and improve, because I think that, just talking as a game designer, I don't think they have a well-designed implementation of it whatsoever. I just don't think it's fit for purpose. Though, of course, that use case for LFR is still a very valid one that should be fulfilled. Anyway, that's probably a topic for another video. In terms of money making, though, I want to hit about 400k by Warlords, maybe just 200, 300, whatever. I want to break 200k, essentially. That's one of my goals, and that should be fun. Right now, I'm planning on doing it mainly via the auction house. Maybe I'll do some profession stuff at some point where I can just use my Spirits of Harmony, turn them into 553 bits of gear, but I'm not even too sure if that would sell anymore. Still, though, money making, it's a thing. I've been just using Auctioneer and things like that to find really cheaply priced items. So a good example was yesterday. I think it was Peace Bloom was being sold for it was something ridiculous. Some guy, it was 5 silver per item. So I was like, fine, holy shit, I'll buy all that. And the next highest auction was 1 G59 per item. So hell yeah, I bought all that stuff. And then I looked at that item that was 1 G59, I thought to myself, well, why don't I just buy that too, because there's only 10 of them, it's not going to cost me that much. So I ended up having about 60 or 80 Peace Bloom, and I just sold them all again, but for 4 gold each, and I know I am literally being that guy who's ruining the auction house, but hey, it's for my own greed and monetary needs. Wahaha, just they're not really needs. You know, you need to grow your AP somehow, and the best thing is they all sold. I made a killing, and I've been doing that on various items that I just find cheap. I, you know, buy low, sell high, that general kind of thing. Maybe I also try to make things with windwool cloth that I get from my tailor, and I throw them in the auction house. In terms of, let's see, what other things have I been doing? Really just a lot of buying low and selling high. Also transmog gear, I'm trying to get back into that market again. I've been using an add-on called Trade Skill Master. There's other people who do guides for it on YouTube. It's very complex, but because of it, I'm able to manage about 750 auctions currently very easily. And of course, that could scale up to 2, 3, 4, 5,000 auctions, but obviously the main problems there would be just storing all those items and the mailbox opening times and things like that. But TSM really is a fantastic add-on. It's so useful. I've been using that a lot, and yeah, it's just been pulling in a decent amount of money. I'm only really getting started. I need to expand my portfolio humongously, and yeah, it's just a bit of fun. So overall, that's the kind of thing that I've been doing in the game. Basically, trying out new classes, doing new things, and I've got to say, the level 90 boost has kind of liberated that. It's what enabled me to have, you know, this last 3 weeks of gameplay. Because when I look at my main hunter, I think, yeah, I mean, I'm happy with being, I'm level 559 or whatever the hell that character is. In terms of its raid performance, I know I can squeeze a good bit more out there, you know, like, it's just the kind of thing I don't really see the point in bothering at the minute with all the YouTube stuff going on and trying to learn other classes, but if I ever do get back into hardcore Siege of Orgrimmar, I'm really just going to take like a few days to sit down with my hunter and optimize the hell out of everything. Maybe learn a little bit of Lua, write some new macros, make sure everything is absolutely perfect, because I feel like I've always been able to like just be a very good hunter. Hell, maybe even better than that. Like I was able to get really solid like 85th percentile parses pretty consistently. I was not topping meters in my guild, but I was at least kind of on par with the other 2 or 3 hunters, and honestly, in many cases, it was us 3 hunters that were at the top of the meters, so we were all just kind of trading blows up there near the top, and that was a lot of fun. But I definitely just feel like I make too many mistakes when I play my hunter, and it's just the time off since you know, I've been really raiding pretty hardcore has definitely taken a toll on my play. I think it's still pretty good, but it's not great, it's not perfect. And I want to sort of strive for perfection a little bit more in that character, because when it gets into Warlords of Draenor, I want to be really feckin' good at playing my hunter, like really, 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 really good. I just want to jump into that head first and really enjoy and get my teeth into it, which should be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to Warlords just so damn much. It's going to invigorate the games. It's going to be needed. I think the Mists of Pandaria was a fantastic testbed, but lore-wise and just things like that, it's funny, like, they've never really created a world that I just don't care, really, for the world of Pandaria. I guess maybe I care less for some of the Cataclysm stuff, but for Pandaria itself, I don't particularly care about the world or the characters. I don't think many of them were that well written. But what they've went and done is that they've pissed me off in that regard, and then the sneaky wee bastards have given us 2 of the best raid tiers we've ever seen, full of plenty of really interesting, well-designed bosses. They've given us some really good new systems like Flex, cross-realm raiding, all these various things. They've done so much good in this expansion, and I just can't wait to see those good systems and features being implemented into an expansion, which is, at its core, Warcraft. I think there's nothing really that personifies the departure from the Warcraft feel in Pandaria than when you just look, is personifies even the word, whatever, when you look at the armor sets for some characters, and how they really only look good on a Pandaren, and it's just like, yeah, you kind of went a little bit too far in the panda thing, because it doesn't work for the rest of our characters, it doesn't work for some of the pre-established things in the game, and just general stuff like that. So that's like my opinion on Pandaria, done shortly. Weird expansion, really weird expansion. Still, I mean, to me, it's better than Cataclysm. I'd probably rank things being like Wrath of the Lich King as being my favorite expansion. Then maybe the Burning Crusade, because I really enjoyed the time that I played at the end of that. Then I'd say Pandaria, and then Cataclysm at the very bottom, obviously. So that's that. The reason Vanilla's not on that list is because I never played Vanilla. I can't place Vanilla on a list. I've never played it. What right do I have to say that? None. So that's the kind of deal with that. Anyway, I think this ramble has gone for quite long enough. I basically just thought it would be nice to give people an update of what I'm doing in the game, what the crack is, and just have a decent little departure from the regular, you know, hello and welcome to another Warlords of Draenor video. Today we're going to talk about X and go through Y, etc. Though of course those videos are still going to continue because obviously they provide something that's valuable. The reason I do them is because, well, first of all, look, usually they're pretty decent views, and it's relevant information to talk about. It forces me to stay up to date in the game, but also a lot of people, when they read just data mine information or patch notes, they jump to conclusions, and I feel like having someone there to talk through it with them can just kind of help people understand the actual design implications that Blizzard are trying to go for, rather than just being like, OMG, this glyph is different, which now negates this thing, oh, they've broken the game. Because obviously, you know, alpha's totally final. Anyway, on that little sarcastic end note, thank you for watching or listening or whatever. Honestly, there's probably not any interesting gameplay in the background of this thing anyway. So, yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.